By Susan Booysen from the Wits School of Governance, talking about that cabinet. Good morning to you, Susan, and thanks for joining us. We've been talking, obviously, quite a lot about the cabinet this morning. Perhaps I could ask you a big picture question to start with. We know that politics is obviously a determining factor when presidents or prime ministers put together cabinets anywhere. There are debts to pay and old scores to settle and so on. To what extent is President Zuma's cabinet just that, and to what extent is it actually applying a mind to what the country needs?
I would really say that the construction of this network of patronage, of thank yous for past services, past assistance, past protection, that is very much a watermark of this set of cabinet appointments. But overall, I think I see, I'm not sure if it's a balance, but at least both that protection and thank yous, as well as a sense that focus on specifics, for example, the economic cluster and appointments there, and bringing in a series of supplementary departments. We do not always see the appointments there that I think are really optimal, but I think President Zuma is very aware that it's now or never for him to construct a definitive legacy, at least more definitive than what we've seen from the previous 5 years, and he needs to have those people there who are driven and dedicated, and they would have to tag along a few other more dubious, more inappropriate appointments. I think Zuma bringing in Jeff Radebe, who's really a trusted person, very close to him, right into the presidency, and to help manage the rest of cabinet then also by virtue of monitoring and evaluation, that shows that he realizes he needs some more gravitas there in a person that he trusts, and that both President Zuma and right-hand person then Jeff Radebe would really have to bring a lot on the table to give more of an impression that they're turning the ship of state around.
Susan, it's Nozipho with David in Johannesburg. If we were to look at the economic cluster in particular, does this reinforce confidence in the president's team that's going to be helping him to implement the National Development Plan?
I think it does. Again, of course, within the limits of what the National Development Plan is, it's not the radical revolutionary style document that people talk about. It's actually quite a conservative, middle-of-the-road document with some serious areas of exertion in it. But I think Nonhlanhla Nene, as the incoming Minister of Finance, he has been there for a long time. I think he has shown that he's very capable of doing that job. And still, there is that kind of stability with Pravin Gordhan, staying in government in a very powerful, important portfolio of cooperative governance. People would know that he is somewhere in government. That kind of stability is there. I think Ibrahim Patel and Rob Davies, they were rewarded for a lot of work they have been doing very consistently over the past years, into the sense that that can really be the backbone of driving further economic transformation, NDP style, in South Africa. In other portfolios like energy or public enterprises. We see new appointments. Hopefully there are strong teams in place. And yes, so to create this overall image of the country moving, the government moving to strengthen the economic leg of transformation, some of the building blocks are in place. I think the set of appointments slightly elevates and strengthens that set of building blocks around the economic cluster. However, at the end of the day, it's not the departments being there or new appointments being there that are definitive and will turn things around, but it is how these people are managed, how they are being pushed in their own performance contracts to really apply themselves and to really make sense to government in a way that could also work for the ANC as governing party a few years down the line in local government elections.
Susan, what do you make of the move of Pravin Gordhan? Some people thought he might leave the cabinet and retire. Instead, he's gone to an unquestionably junior portfolio within the bigger context. I'm sure he'll do it very well. There's that, and then there was the story of Tito Mboweni being assured of the job, blocked by the alliance partners of the ANC, and Nhlanhla Nene, who wasn't on the list in March for the ANC, brought in to be the finance minister.
Yes, indeed. In the first pressure on Pravin Gordhan. Yes, cooperative governance, and really that means managing the host of local governments, municipalities in South Africa. People can argue that that is a junior portfolio compared with finance, certainly, but gosh, does that department need of cooperative governance, does that need effective government? Because so much of governance in South Africa, and it depends on what happens in those municipalities. Maybe Pravin Gordhan would be able to help them comply with their audits and to do things correctly. Maybe he would be the one to provide leadership there. Of course, I would have liked to see somebody who was a former deputy minister there, Yunus Karim. I would have loved to have seen him as a deputy to Pravin Gordhan in that department. But if Pravin and his team can lead that department out of that mess, a quagmire that it is in at the moment, that would be a major, major advance in South African politics. It's in those municipalities that much of the protest action emanates, and it really detracts from image of a stable and effective government. So he's got his job cut out for him. And
okay. Susan, I'm afraid